What's up, masters? I'm Rob Anderson. Thanks for coming and checking out this video. I'm super excited about it. It's a lot different than normal. Amazon FBA private label versus self-publishing audiobooks. Pros and cons. Which one's better? Is one better? If you're new here, I'm Rob. I make money publishing audiobooks on Audible and Amazon, and that's what this channel is about. So be sure to subscribe. I'm not stopping pumping out awesome videos. Turn on the bell notifications and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. So that being said, I feel very qualified to talk about this subject since I make money doing both. I have another video talking about how I'm a 7-figure Amazon private label seller. And obviously, I make money publishing audiobooks. That's what this whole channel is about. Now, I feel pretty unbiased because I do both. Now, obviously, this channel is about audiobook publishing, so maybe I'm a little more leaning that direction. But honestly, I love them both. You can make a lot of money doing both. They're both awesome businesses. They both can help you escape the rat race or just create income streams, whatever you want. So, let's talk first about Amazon FBA private label. Well, what is private label? Well, private label on Amazon is basically selling your own physical products that you have branded yourself. So you created your own brand and you're selling it on Amazon. And oftentimes you source these products directly from factories in China or other countries overseas. So it's different from arbitrage or wholesale. You know, you're not buying iPads at a discount and flipping them on Amazon, or you're not, selling name brand products that you bought wholesale at discount. You're selling your own brand. So that's what I mean by Amazon private label. So what are the pros of selling on Amazon private label? Well, there are a lot of pros. Now, the first pro is honestly just taking advantage of Amazon.com and how huge they are and how much customers they have. And at the end of 2018, they had 95 million Prime members. That's just Prime memberships. That's not other customers. So, and it was up from, I think, 85 million the year before. So that was 8 months ago. So I'm sure the number is crazy right now. So they have tons of customers that they're willing to share with you. So creating a business partnering with Amazon is never a bad idea. Never, never. So that's pro number one. Pro number two is it's easy to build a brand on Amazon, right? Say you create one product and it's a home run and you get a bestseller badge or an Amazon's Choice badge. People will click on your brand name, right? And see what other products you have. And there's a lot of opportunity to cross promote. You can create promotions if they buy both of your products. And you can continually add products month after month and create a nice brand. Which leads me to my next pro. You could actually sell that brand for a lot of money, for a 2 or a 3x multiple of the yearly profit. So that's awesome. You could cash out. You could do it for a couple years and then get a nice large sum of money. It's actually something I'm looking into with my brands. So that's a possibility on Amazon, selling private label. Because you've created a brand, an entity separate from yourself, you can sell it. And there's people who want to buy it. There's actually a really big demand for Amazon businesses because people know how good they are. Sometimes even private equity firms will buy Amazon businesses. So that's a huge pro in my opinion. Another pro is the product life cycle for an Amazon private label product is really long. In fact, for me, I have one product that's been selling consistently very well since 2016, and the sales have only climbed month after month, year after year. So as long as you don't choose something, trendy or faddish, like a fidget spinner, you should be fine. If you start selling something like coffee cups and you're on page 1 for coffee cups on Amazon, that product is gonna last a long time, right? I don't see Amazon going anywhere, and I don't see coffee cups going anywhere. So it's a good balance. It's gonna be a long selling product. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. Cons for Amazon private label, yeah, there are some. The cons can be a high startup cost. My first order for Amazon private label was 1,000 units at around $10 a unit. So I spent about 10 grand for my first order, and I was so broke I put it on my credit card, which I don't recommend, but that's what I did. So that's not good for beginners, right? $10,000 is a lot of money if you don't have any money. It's a lot of money even if you do have money. So that's a high barrier to entry and not very beginner friendly. Now sometimes you can get by with less, but that's just what it was for me. And honestly, when I order that product now, it's still about a shipping container, which cost me about $51,000. So it's a lot of money. You need a lot of cash flow for physical products, which is a negative. Another negative is all the logistics and such that happen selling physical products, including the customer service. And I get around 10 emails a day, around 5 phone calls a day about my product saying, oh, it broke after 6 months, can you replace it? Or, it doesn't fit with my this and this, what do you recommend? So it can be a nightmare, and I've even had to hire somebody to help me with the emails. There's also other logistics, like shipping, freight forwarding. Around Q4, the Amazon warehouses are exploding, so your appointments get delayed, you run out of stock. The warehouses in Los Angeles are always full. Trump tariffs, that can be one, if you're sourcing from China. So all those kind of things that physical products bring with it, you have to deal with Amazon FBA. Another con is heavy competition. There's so many courses and YouTube channels about Amazon FBA, the secret's out, right? It's not a secret anymore. So there's a lot of sharks on Amazon, a lot of true sharks. So you really have to know what you're doing if you're gonna enter Amazon FBA private label, especially in a competitive market. Now, there's still markets that are untapped on Amazon for sure, but you can't just go on Amazon and sell a yoga mat like you could 7 years ago. You'll get eaten alive, unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars. You just can't enter that space. So that's a con. And along with that competition comes, it's hard to rank on page 1. So we all know with internet businesses, you have to be on page 1. So I mentioned coffee cups before. If you're not on page 1 on Amazon for coffee cup, you're not gonna sell any coffee cups. And because of the competition, it can be really hard to rank on Amazon. It's not an easy accomplishment. So that's another con of selling on Amazon, private label. So let's talk about audiobooks now. Audiobook self-publishing. What is audiobook self-publishing? Audiobook self-publishing is basically similar to private label, where you're creating your own content. You're either writing it yourself or you're hiring somebody, but you still own the rights. You're having it narrated, and you're selling it as an audiobook on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. So that's called self-publishing an audiobook. What then are the pros about publishing audiobooks? Well, there's a lot. The number one pro is low startup costs. Now, if you actually wrote and narrated your audiobook yourself, your startup cost could be 0. So there's no excuse if you don't have any money. You can have a 0 startup cost. Compare that to 10 grand for private label, that's awesome. Now, if you wanted to have somebody else write it and narrate it for you, like I recommend, about $500 to $1,000 to have somebody write it and narrate it for you. But $500 to $1,000 is still way less than that 10 grand that it cost me on my first order for my private label product. So there you have it, $500 to $10,000, or $500 to $1,000, or free. So low startup costs. Reason number 2, probably my favorite reason, is low competition. Like I mentioned, Amazon is just full of sharky people trying to muscle you out of selling coffee cups, and people trying to muscle you out of selling, yoga mats. Audible is not like that. There are not sharks. There's way less sharks, and if any. So it's kind of wide open right now. So it's a perfect time, a low-hanging fruit, right? Why go up here when you can go here? Pretty much that simple. And because of the low competition, it's also a lot easier to rank on page 1 for your keywords on Audible than it is on Amazon. So it's just much less of an uphill battle on Audible. And so the other pro is all the benefits that come of having a digital product. No customer service emails. That's like so awesome. No wasting time with that. When somebody returns my audiobook, it doesn't come out of my pocket. For instance, some people return my Amazon products with cat hair and dog hair and completely unsellable, but I have to eat that cost. because it's a digital product, when somebody returns an audiobook, I'm not sweating. I don't care. It doesn't set me back. There's no tariffs, no shipping, no, with Amazon and Q4 around Christmas time, the warehouses are full to the brims and my Amazon delivery appointments get delayed and I run out of stock and it's just stressful, and Chinese New Year. None of that with audiobooks. So just less headaches, which means higher quality of life having that digital product. And that digital product cash flow is so nice, right? When I make $15,000 from Audible, it goes in my bank. When I make $15,000 from Amazon private label, I'm buying more inventory. So a lot of times the profit I made on private label is tied up on my new product that's on a shipping container at sea. So a lot of my money is in new product. Now eventually it builds up over time, but it builds up a lot faster with audiobook publishing, stacking that cash. So huge. I also like the margins. So this is the third pro, is margins. And it's such a pro, I made a whole separate video about the number one reason, and this is it, that I like audiobook publishing, is the margins. Audiobook publishing margins is 40% if you're exclusive with Audible and Amazon. They pay you 40%. So private label, my top product net and profit margin is 35%, which is pretty good, really good. But I also have ones as low as 10, which isn't very good. So 40 is awesome, and I love that about it. So what are the cons? Are there some cons? Well, yeah, there are, I'll be honest, about audiobook publishing. One of the cons is, as far as I know, sell an audiobook publishing business the way you can an Amazon private label business. There aren't buyers looking for these types of businesses. You're not going to sell it to a private equity firm, cash out for $10 million and move to the Cayman Islands like you might if you had a huge Amazon brand. So something to think about. So that's it, guys. That's the pros and cons of these two. As you can see, I love them both. You can't really go wrong with either. In my honest opinion, audiobook publishing is probably better for beginners, but they're both awesome. It's more important to take action than sweat over which one to do. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it was informative. I'm Rob Anderson. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notifications, and don't miss a video. See you guys in the next one.